Hey guys, it's Alan from the GMC Community Discord. I just wanted to follow up on the first video that we published last week because it was very well received. And between then and now, there has been a lot of updates on the app. A lot of features have been requested by the GMC Community Discord users. Some are still works in progress, and there's a lot of exciting things that could happen in the coming months, but I just wanted to update you on what has happened in the last kind of week. Now, for people who have actually watched the first video, there will be things in this that I'm going to have to go back over again because some people may find this video and not have watched the first one. So just bear with me, and there will be some cool stuff in this that you probably haven't seen yet. So when you load the app, it'll go to this page, and I'll try to go over, everything in this. I could forget something, but I'll do my best. Along the top, there'll be the version. So this is RC20. You can go to the website from here. You can also join the Discord. You can also send the guys a donation, Jerry and Marion. And here there's a little link. I have to give a shout out to Pug XXL for all of his beta testing. He has been so helpful. So a new feature that wasn't in the first video will be the Steam connection. Some people had mentioned that they had to use dedicated settings to connect to Steam. So I have added them. For most people though, it'll probably be on the default. However, you can add in their manual settings if you have to. I'll just go back to the usual ones. So here there is full support for Euro Truck Simulator 2 and for the American Trucks Simulator. Now what these are for is that if you have the games installed on an unusual hard drive like F or G or whatever, you may have to manually find the game location, because I didn't want this to be scanning hard drives. That would be not very popular. So, however, mine is in the default locations, so it has already found them. Down on the left, I recommend if people have never used this before, to have a look at the guide. There's a quick start guide, so you don't have to read through the full manual. It's important that you know exactly what's going on here. Next to that is a blue button and that contains then the full guide. So there's a whole lot of different. I'm not going to go through everything here. That's why I'm kind of sort of talking, so you don't have to go through everything here, but you can go through each of these settings and kind of educate yourself on exactly what all of these do. You can move in the mods around compatibility, saving changes, etc., the performance, and so on. And now in here, there's the important information. So basically, you need to close the game first. It can't operate on the game there while the SCS game is actually running. So, and that's why that's in red. The second one just clarifies that you have to make every game profile within the game. You cannot do it within the Mod Manager here, and you cannot delete them here either. So it also goes through the backups. The way this works is that the app will generate 10 backups of everything that you do. And then once it gets to the 10th, it'll go back to the first, because the folders could have literally hundreds of backups, depending how often that you're altering your sort of game profiles and stuff. So that was a safety measure, but to make it kind of reasonable, so you're not left with hundreds and thousands of backups. Oh yes, this was added. A couple of people have asked there for the workshop support. Now, it will be a bit more understandable once we get further in. However, there are two options here, open in Steam app or open in the browser. And basically when we get into the next stage, you can click on every Steam mod that's installed or in the library, and go to either the page on a browser or within the Steam app. And basically this is just giving you three options, because it can ask you every time, and that would be quite annoying, or open in Steam app or open in the browser. It will store these settings the next time that you load the app, so you don't have to keep doing that if you wanted it to stay on that one, for instance. So I will open Euro Truck Simulator 2 to look at the profiles. Depending on your hard drive or your SSD and your computer, this can take a little bit of time here, but if you've got a fairly modern computer and it's on a solid state drive, it'll be fast. Now this is just showing me two of the Steam Workshop mods have been they're kind of not linking anywhere because the author has removed them, and they're still in the folder, so I'll just ignore that. But that was a test. You should hopefully not see this unless some of your workshop stuff has been sort of disconnected from the author. I'll just hit continue. So I will open my working mod, or my working profile, sorry, which will be that one. It'll take a little time to open. So this will be the basic sort of menu that you'll be using all of the time within the game or within the app. So you have your library on the left, and you have then your active load order on the right. So we'll go from the top across and down, so I'll try to cover everything. Basically, a pop down here just shows you all of your profiles. That's kind of, I think even the dumbest people can hopefully work that out. I've added these new features so you can launch the game there within this mod manager, so you don't have to go looking for the game. Copy the load order. Say you have a load order that you want to copy, obviously. You can set then the source here at the top, which would be this one, and then you can go to the destination. So you could, in effect, create a dummy profile in the game. Again, this doesn't set anything up. You have to set them up in the game. So you can copy then to, I think I have a couple of tests in here. So I will copy that to that, and both of them, well, that's not a good idea. Actually, I'll pick one that's got a different sort of mod count. There we go. There's a Utopia test, which I'm not actually using. So if I copy that to that, do copy load order, it'll come up with a confirmation. Copy 374 mods from that profile to that one, blah, blah, blah. So you do copy, and it's done. So if I look now at the Utopia one, there we go, 374 mods. So it's all in that, as you can see. So that has just copied the whole profile over. There are additional things that I want to do with this, but I haven't got around to it yet. So that would be that. Shortcuts will be keyboard. Shortcuts are, so if you don't want to use the drag and drop all the time, you can do this. You can use your keys. The mod details is, it just opens a little panel on the left if you want to see the mods up close, or you can get more horizontal room by turning it off. And it's off now, but you can see it's gone red and there's a bright pink X. You can turn it on and now it's gone green. So if I highlight one of these on the left, I don't really develop it anymore, but basically that will, it will abort or sorry, your current active load order to a text file. So if I do that, it will be in my downloads. Refresh. There we go. So basically that has given me, it'll give me that load order there to a text file. And the reason for that is that people can share that with other people, their friends. Say somebody's got a problem with a load order and yours is okay, you can send them then yours and they can copy it or whatever, you know. So that's an option that people asked for. Along the top then there's a search. So you can search for mods within your library. You can also now search a group search. So if, for instance, there you were looking for mods by one author. I'm not going to say his name because I'll not get it right. But anyway, and now you can actually group some. So there's 25 in that, there's one in that, and I can't actually see what's in that. And one more. So if I do apply, it will highlight every mod by that author, and basically there's a whole lot of options there. Or if you want to go back to all of them, you just do all, and then you're back to where you were. It can also find duplicates. Now, it's hard to tell what they're called there, okay, because that isn't giving you the actual file name within your mod folder. However, if you follow where my mouse is here, where it says file names and a big X, if I turn that on, there will be now a bright orange name of that mod. Now, you can now see by looking at the name of the mod that has been accidentally duplicated. So it's and it just says now the name, but a number 1. So again, there's the same, there's the same, there's the same, and so on. Now, say you wanted to remove your duplicates. There is no delete feature within the app because I do not want to be held responsible for somebody accidentally clicking a button and deleting a mod and then coming on to Discord and going, Alan, I've deleted files and I don't like you and I don't like your app and you suck. Okay, because that can happen. But anyway, so how you can remove them is by going to the file. That will find the file there within your mod folder and highlight it. So you can see there, it has highlighted it. It doesn't matter where it is in your window. If I do it with another one, so there's a duplicate there. And if I do file, it will find it. So then you can manually delete them. And that's all under your control. It isn't done by the app. There's no way things can go wrong within the app where files are being deleted by accident. So I think that's a good feature. So to remove the duplicates, you can just do show all mods again. So in there, which I bypassed accidentally, there's sort names A to Z, sort names ZA, file name, blah, blah, blah. And then you can do the modified by the newest. So that is how you do that. So we'll just go back to the A to Z. In the categories, you've got them exactly like the SCS Mod Manager within the game. However, it's worth pointing out that the mod makers sometimes can make mistakes or they don't bother putting them in the right category. So, well, that one's actually not bad. That's just the physics, so they're okay. But there are times where you'll find certain things in the wrong place. That's out of my control. It's just the way the guys that make the mods do it. You've got all status, so all or compatible or not compatible. So then you could actually go in and start deleting them all. Compatibility unknown. Now that can mean that the guy that made the mod has not put a version identifier within the mod. It doesn't mean that they're not compatible. It just means if a new version of the game is released, then they'll not be blocked. However, there's no way for me to know whether they will work. So again, it's just something you're going to have to play with. And there is also a possible local and Steam match. And I set this up deliberately so there would be a conflict. And that shows you that there are two files, or one local and one on Steam, and they've got the same name by the same author. So you can actually see that one's active, and it's in my mod folder, and it's also on Steam. It's not active, obviously, but it's on Steam as well. So I'll go back to all. Then you've got the all sources, which would mean Steam and local mods. So you can isolate them by just the local, or just by Steam. Or now this one can sometimes actually fix some issues that don't identify. It builds a little cache and can sort them out, but I have them all resolved. So that's always a procedure that you can do. So if I go back to the active load order, there's a new feature here. If this would stop, there we go. It says there are the mod icons. And now the first way that I did this was off, because I just wanted a good compact vertical kind of system that would work well for people, because you could go through all the mods. They're fast, and it would give you good detail without having them big and bulky, and it would kind of be the best kind of way that you could look down your mod lister without having big icons. But when I released the first version, people were saying, "Oh, we want to see the icons." Now obviously you can on the left here, but people wanted them a bit more like the SCS Mod Manager. So you can turn them on now small, and that'll not actually make each field deeper kind of vertically. So they do fit in, but they are very small. So I don't know where people would want that. So there is also a bigger option for large, and now you can actually see the mod, the image in the file a little bit better. And now not all of the mods actually have images, so you will see a grey panel with a little sort of diamond in the middle. So that's how that works. It does actually take up slightly more vertical room for each of the mods, but for somebody with a bigger modder, maybe that isn't a big deal. So you can see they're off, small, and large. Again, you also get the list here, source, either a local mod, and you can go and find it there, or Steam. Now, on the first page, if you remember at the very start of this video, I mentioned there was two settings, that you can open Steam within a browser or within the Steam app. So now if I go there, it will open that in the Steam app. Depending on your internet connection or the way you've it configured, could take a little bit of time. I don't know. I have a fast line here and a pretty fast computer. So that's how that works. And now for building the active load order, you can drag files over and let it go, and it will now show you a little arrow there pointing to the right, as if it's been moved, and it hasn't been saved yet. So that's what the orange thing is here. Okay, so to save anything that you alter, do apply. It will make a backup in case you've done something wrong. So if you do that, it will now be in there. So when you load the game, it will be exactly as that is. So say you made a mistake, you can just drag it back out or double click. Either way, it will also tell you there it's been moved, so you can find the mod for a couple of seconds before it disappears. So what this one will do that the inbuilt one it doesn't do by SAS is that you can drag multiple items by holding down the shift key. So I'm just holding down the shift key here, and if I drag to there, they will all move. It will also give you the positions that they've moved, and you can do undo, and it'll go back to the way that it kind of was, or the redo will take it back the step, so you're going back and forward, back, forward. So as well as the shift key, you can also hold the control key, so you can actually bypass, say, those two. You don't want to move them, but you want to move that. You can hold the control key, then you can move them down or up. So that's how that works. I'll do undo. And say that you wanted to find that mod in the library, you hold down the Alt and it will find it. It tells you in the library it's active, and looking down the mod list there, you can see that's also active, that's also active. And if you say you hold the same key there, the Alt key, it will find it in the active order too. So if I hold that key now, it'll find it in position 333. And the same here, if I hold it on that, it'll find it in position 3. So that's how you work between the two of them. Now, a new feature which I have added, which somebody gave me, and I thought, why the hell didn't I think of this? So it's kind of not that obvious, but it's intentional because people could get confused, okay? But if you hold the right button on your mouse, there's a feature there, temporarily disable. So if I left click on that, it says temporarily disabled. And that means that once I hit apply, that the mod will stay, it'll stay in the active load order, but when you load the game, it'll not be there. It's like just holding the position of that mod instead of having to find out there where you put things. So say you had two versions of two files, or if you had a problem in the game and the game was bombing out and you were trying to find out which mod was doing it, you can temporarily disable it and then reload the game, test it, and then you can just go through a diagnosing stage of, is my mod a problem or whatever, instead of having to go over to the left and drag them back to find out there where they were before. So, and then you can also do make inactive, open the Steam Workshop ID, blah, blah, blah. So we'll re-enable the mod and then apply it, confirm and apply, and that's it. So there's also one more button I didn't notice again, but it's in here. I don't know whether some people might like the double click option, the way that generally some people don't like drag and drop all the time. So that's currently on the add to the top. So if I say that I wanted to add that app and I didn't want to drag it over, I can just double click the mod and that will appear straight at the top. Okay, I'll do undo, and then if I do add to the bottom, well, yeah, you're going to work it out. I double click it again, it adds to the bottom. And why I did that was, some people do their load orders on the GMC community website from the bottom to the top, but not from the top to the bottom. So you're not having a system that is going to fight you if you do it a different way. There's probably some other things I'm trying to think of here. Wait a see. I think I've got them all now, as far as I know. Now there are some other things I'm going to be adding, but yeah, I think that's everything. I'm sure I've forgotten something, and then I'll come back later and I'll beat myself. But anyway, look, if you want to give it a go, if there's any issues, join the Discord. It'll be in the description of the video. There's a ticketing system, and there's me and Pug and another couple of guys in there that can help. There's also a download section on the GMC community Discord. There's also a section for giving your own opinions on what you would like to be added. It's like for feedback. So we read everything. And this is absolutely free. It's never going to be billed for. It doesn't even cost €1. So hopefully it's kind of useful for everybody. I hope that you enjoy the app. It's sort of taken me months. I was never planning on releasing it. It was only made for myself, and then a couple of people said I should develop it and maybe give it to other people. I find the SCS Mod Manager is okay for people who maybe only add about 10 mods. I mean, once you get to 300 or even more, I mean, I know guys that run with 600 active mods or more. It can be really painful. All right, guys, I'll talk to you soon.